Thank you so much for tuning in to the Author Boss Podcast. I am your host, Shannon Posh Anderson, your 6- and 7-figure mentor and strategist, here to help you grow and scale an author brand you love. So like, share, comment, and share this out. Tune in every week to the Author Boss Podcast. All right, yes. So welcome back to another episode of Author Boss. And today we are going to get talking about the one thing that I see a lot of authors miss that every successful author has.
What?
Okay. So there are actually two things. So number one is, well, welcome to Author Boss. Don't forget to share, to like, to send this out to all of your friends who need this podcast. Make sure that you check back in. All right. And of course, our mantra is you deserve great things because I am great and great people do great things. All right. So I deserve great things. Right. And I am great and great people do great things. So that is our mantra because we're great. Exactly. You're great. I'm great. Everybody's great. All right. So the two things that every successful author has that I see a lot of authors miss and what every author needs.
And what is that?
Number one is a model. Okay. So a lot of authors miss having a model set into their marketing, set into the way that they sell their books. So what does that mean? So when you think about J.K. Rowling, when you think about Stephen King, when you think about Danielle Steele, Dr. Seuss, like the greatest authors of all time. And people are like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. Like Dr. Seuss? Yeah, Dr. Seuss was a whole author out here. Like all those children books, Cat in the Hat, The Grinch, all of that, right? So when you think about even J.K. Rowling and you think about she followed a very similar path of Dr. Seuss when you think about the model.
Really?
Yeah. Think about it, right? She wrote for children. And this is another thing. Very successful authors, they write in one genre, right? So she wrote for children. Dr. Seuss wrote for children. Okay. And she picked a genre, right? Which is what type of...
It's like fantasy?
Yeah, it's like fantasy. Okay. So that's an actual genre. Right. And she sticks within that genre. She does not jump from genre to genre. Okay. So these are things that very successful authors do. They have a model, right? They have a very specific audience. They have a very specific genre. Okay. And then they have a model. So J.K. Rowling followed Dr. Seuss in his model very similarly. So they both wrote for children. Those books then turned into merch.
Right.
Those books then turned into licensing. Right. Those books then turned into movies.
Theme parks.
Right. That's a model. Most people don't think about that, but she followed Dr. Seuss's model. I don't know if she intended to, but they have the same business model. Okay. So when you think about your book and you think about your walk as an author, like what does that look like for you? What type of model are you incorporating? When we think about Stephen King, right?
Right.
He wrote for a very specific audience. He wrote in a very specific genre. What genre was that? Horror.
Horror, yeah.
Right? He didn't skip from genre to genre to genre. He stayed in horror. And then he licensed. So he licensed the film. So he then came out with horror films, right? That is a business model, okay? And so a lot of authors don't really think about the model that they want to follow. They're just like, oh, I just want to write a book. No, think about it from a bird's eye view. Like if you could have every dream come possible based upon your book, what does that look like? If you did not believe that you could fail, because a lot of authors are like, oh, I don't know if I can dream that big. You can absolutely dream that big. Okay, I'm giving you permission to dream that big. All right. What does the model look like? So I'll just share a little bit about my model, right? So I wrote the book. Okay, spoke to a very specific audience, mostly faith-based men and women. Okay, I understand a lot of my audience is faith-based Christian men and women. Okay, I spoke directly to that audience. I stayed within a genre: motivation, inspiration, self-help, autobiography. I don't go outside of nonfiction. I could write a fiction book, but I'm not a fiction writer, right? So from there, I then turned that into speaking, workshops, talks, teaching, training. That's a business model. Okay. So when you think about Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he had the same model. He turned his books into curriculums. He turned his books into speeches. He turned his books into talks. Okay. So that is a specific model. So what type of model do you have? So many authors are just like, I'm just going to write a book and that's it. No, like, where else are you going with this thing?
Exactly.
Like, how are you supposed to impact people and you don't know where you're going? Right? So think about what type of model you want to follow in regards to your book and really think about what suits you. For instance, I love Dr. Seuss. I do, but I don't want an amusement park. Like, that's not my model.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't align with who I am. That doesn't align with my vision, nor does it align with my purpose. I understand that I am a person who does more of teaching, who does more of training, speaking, right? And so that's the business model that I follow. And so it's easier than you think. Like if you just really, really sat down and thought about it, most people already know, but they just never put the two together. You know, they're like, I know I want to be a speaker when I write the book. Okay, that's a model.
Right.
Okay, where does it go after that? You want to speak, then what? Do you want to do something else? Do you want to turn the book into film?
I don't really think they really think that far.
That's the problem.
Honestly.
Yeah, they don't think that far. Guys, you've got to think about this as huge, okay? Give yourself permission to dream big. This is your opportunity. When you write this book, when you market this book, this is your opportunity to go all out. Okay? Like this is the springboard to up into something bigger. I knew I wanted to turn my book into film. I did that. Right? I then went into licensing. I licensed my story now to Amazon Prime, Tubi TV, Roku channel. Like many networks have picked up my documentary and they pay me a licensing fee, right? Royalties I receive every month, not only from my books, but also from my licensing deals from the film, okay? So that is the model that I saw for myself. And eventually I want to turn it into a big film where you see it in theaters, right? Like that's the next stage. The next stage is to speak on bigger stages. The next stage is, of course, what I'm doing now, helping more authors and, you know, is what I'm doing now and helping more authors to, you know, turn their books into film, turn their books into talks, turn their books into brands and businesses. So that is what I'm doing. Like that's the next level. That's the legacy that I want to create. So think about what is the legacy that you want to create from this book. Like what are you leaving behind? If you could think about your funeral.
Oh my gosh. Wait.
They do this even in college. I even saw them do this on A Different World.
Really?
Yeah. The professor was like, hey, write your eulogy. Okay. And at your eulogy, they're talking about you. What are they saying at the eulogy?
Right. About all your accomplishments and things that you've done for people and things like that. Yeah.
You were born at this date. You ended at this date. But the dash in between, what was that little bitty dash in between? That is what matters. And so many people in the dash just die in the dash. They bury them later, but they die in the dash. Their dreams die in the dash. Their goals die in the dash. Their purpose die in the dash. So we want the dash to count.
Exactly.
We want the dash to count, all right? Where's the richest place in the world? Like, if you could think about all the places in the world, where is the richest place in the world?
The cemetery,
The cemetery.
unfortunately.
Yes. There are so many dreams. There are so many golden opportunities. There are so many billion-dollar ideas in the cemetery. And guys, don't go to the grave with your dreams. When you go to that grave, make sure you go empty. Right? Make sure that you go empty. That is why I do all the things that I do. That's why I chase everything that I chase the way that I do, because I understand that when I leave this earth, I want to die empty. I do not want to be on a deathbed saying, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, or I wish I would have. That to me is a nightmare. So, yes. I know we kind of went around the world and did some other stuff, but I just felt like somebody needed to hear those nuggets. So, yes, those are the things, the two biggest things that the most successful authors in the world have that a lot of authors just miss. The main thing is the model. What is your model? And I actually have more resources for this. Make sure you go to authorboss.com. And check out the different resources that we have there. Also, I've aligned with Author Movement. So authormovement.com. They have tons of resources that will be there to where you can go and check them out and really, really understand what the business of being an author is. Because being an author is an actual business, which is why I created Author Boss, because authors are bosses.
Exactly.
Authors are bosses. You are a business and you deserve to get paid. You deserve to make the impact that you want to make in the world. So this was another episode of Author Boss. Thank you so much for logging on, for staying in touch, and make sure that you like, follow, and come back. And thanks for coming.
Yay.